adding, take away, dividing, times. We do fractions.
That's a list that adds up to pupils at Eleanor Palmer Primary School achieving well above average results in maths. Over 4 programmes, we're looking at how they teach mathematics across Key Stage 2. Head teacher Kate Frood is also the maths coordinator and has some basic guiding principles.
One of the principles of headship I would have is it's my job to develop enthusiasm and to build confidence. And I don't think you do that by being top-heavy and frightening teachers with the need for evidence. And I think that I have to build that confidence by modelling it and by letting, saying, give it a go, try it. And by giving them licence to make professional judgments and not say, but I've got to go on to shape because it says. I hope that what I've created is you judge that they're not ready. It's fine by me.
Right, so ping, pong, pong, ping, 3, 12.
This is Year 4 with their teacher, Sally Hill. The lesson is all about consolidating their times tables, a key topic in Year 4.
7, 28, 4, 16, 7, 28.
The purpose of the lesson was to actually teach them the 4 times table and to actually teach them how they can apply the number facts of the 4 times tables to other calculations.
Do you notice any kind of pattern that you can see, any pattern with these multiples of 4? Tasneem?
In the first half it's 4, 8, 2, 6, 0 and then it's same again.
Tasneem, fantastic. She's noticed that's the last digit. So we've got these digits. It goes 4, 8, then the last digit's 2, 6, 0. And then when you move up here, that pattern repeats in the last digit. It's 4, 8, 2, 6, 0. Right, I've got a 100 square here. And I've highlighted all of the multiples of 4 up to 40. Just looking at this pattern, can you now turn to somebody next to you and just tell them, give them 2 or 3 other numbers that will come up, multiples of 4. Here, you turn to Kobe.
There's times where I break where we go into talk partners, for example, which gives those who are a little less confident to actually have a go, talk it through with a partner, and then they can feel confident about putting their hands up.
All right, and now everyone back this way. Good boy. Who can tell me another multiple of 4 that's going to come up on this 100 square? Ahmed?
44.
Yeah, good boy. Let's have a look. Yes, and that continues the pattern. Okay, so we've got all of the multiples of 4 here. If my number line, my number stick here, went out of the window, down the road, maybe down to Kentish Town Tube Station, maybe further, what numbers or multiples of 4 might I find on this stick? Let's have... Okay, I'm going to ask Damien.
200.
200, exactly. So once you've gone through 104, 108, it will eventually get to 200 again. Good boy. Right, Jasper, what else?
40 billion.
Why 40 billion, Jasper?
Because if you're, if 40's, 10 times 40, you could do, you could just go on until you get to 40 billion. You could just add zeros and you just keep it.
Maybe not such a big number. Joseph?
You could have 196.
And how do you know 196 will be on this number line?
Because 100 is a multiple of 4 and 96 is a multiple of 4. So if you add them together, you get 196.
Excellent.
So
There's, obviously certain questions I expect certain children to answer, but there's, most children had their hands up today, which was really good because they were really following the lesson.
I know that these are multiples of 4. How do I know that?
The last 2 digits all have 4 times tables.
Okay, good girl. The last 2 digits are multiples of 4, and we can see them, can't we, on this number square. Guy, can you give me a 4-digit number, please?
In here?
Yeah, 4-digit number that's a multiple of 4.
44.
4 digits. So 44, what could come first?
4,000.
4,000 and...
988.
and 88. Fantastic. Good boy. Right. Question number 1 is 3 times 4. So just write down the answer.
Next, a 4 times tables test with some challenge questions thrown in.
Everyone can have a go at that one. Now listen, because this is one of the challenge questions. Have a go, if you can, is 40 times 400. 6 times 4. 6 times 4. 6 times 4. 22 times 4. So there's another challenge question there.
During the test, one pupil works on the computer with support staff on a simpler version of the same task.
4 times 4 is 16.
Now be ready here
5
for
times
another
4
challenge
is
question. Question number
6
14.
times 4 is... Oh, look, like 20 plus another 4. Let's see if we can count on 20. 21, 22, 24. Good boy.
We also looked at, once you know this, what else do you know? How can you apply this knowledge to other areas of maths? And I think the children really grasped it and were able to move on in that way.
The first question I asked was 40 times 400. Who actually got this one right? Who managed to get this one right? Joseph.
Was it 16,000?
It was 16,000, wasn't it? So, how can I work this out? Tasneem?
You just do 4 times 4 and then add 3 zeros up.
Right, then I shift those zeros over. Let's have a look at this one. 22 times 4. So it's getting, this is a little bit more complicated, but we can all do it. If we can do the 4 times tables, we can do a calculation like this. Who wants to have a go then at working this out with me? Sam?
10 times 4 is 40.
Okay,
and
so
then you double 40 to make 80. And then you add 8, so it's 88.
So I could just go, I could go 20 times 4 first, couldn't I? I do like your method though, I'm just going to write it like this. So 20 times 4 is
80.
80, good boy. And then
2 times 4 is 8.
Then 2 times 4 is 8. And then what do I do?
Add them together.
Add them together, good boy. And it makes 88. Fantastic. Okay, now talk to the person next to you and tell me how you're going to solve this particular calculation. Okay, so quickly turn to the person next to you.
4 times 4 is 400.
You got 400 and then you got 20. What's that time?
Right, then back this way. Legs crossed, eyes this way. Okay, Claudia, how will we solve that question?
Do you do 40 times 4?
You do 40 times 4. That's a great place to start there, Claudia. 40 times 4. Grace, can you tell me how to work out 40 times 4?
4 times 4.
Yeah, I do 4 times 4 is 16, and I then
Add 0.
add the zeros. That's 160. Good. What's the next step then, Claudia?
5 times 4.
5 times 4. Good. Which is?
It's 20.
And then what do I do?
Add it up.
Add it up. Jasper, what have we learnt today?
You know your 4 times table, you can do much more bigger sums.
Once you know these times tables facts, there's so much more you can do, and it's essential at this age that they grasp it before things start to get really hard in year 5 and year 6.
Some of the time, selected pupils work outside the classroom playing dice games.
Well done.
This game is double-doubling to help them with their 4 times tables.
So it's double 3 is
6.
double 6 is 12. Well done. Pick your counter. Have you got it? Right, that's where you're going. Right. We're just basically it's working on their 2 times table, and then we've gone from doubling to double doubling, which is what table's that? It's your 4, isn't it? So we used to do like just throw one number and double it, and then we've gone from doubling to double doubling. No. Hold on, let me think.
I suppose any abiding principles will go back to abiding principles of good quality teaching and learning, which would be active learning, enjoying learning, good subject knowledge, teacher enthusiasm, depth, and not paying lip service and working through schemes and skimming and moving on. And I suppose my emphasis would be that the teachers are first and foremost good teachers, and part of being a good teacher is being ready to learn, being self-critical, always looking for improving. So if you've got that culture in your school, good maths, good geography, good history, it all kind of wraps into one.
After school, the staff are meeting to find out more about the recently published revised primary framework for mathematics.
You've got your themes, where all your objectives live, yeah? Strands, your big ideas. Then you've got your planning, September, July. Okay, same for everyone, same ideas in each block.
The presentation is given by the Year 6 teacher, who'd just come back from a local authority training seminar.
Okay, so this is all probing questions. Can they do this? Have you asked them if they can do this, if they've shown you? And then objectives are down there, and I can statements.
They then start looking at the online documentation that's available.
So we go on to Unit C1. That's what you need to focus on, the blue being the most important. Here, I think this is kind of like you could rehearse.
So then that's the assessment. Where do you then find out any more about where were the lesson plans?
Oh, and it's blue again, that's really handy.
And that's
and these are the activities,
I think
basically.
It's 6 weeks, the first one, so that's 2 weeks. Your objectives and basically some probing questions to assess them.
Well, that's quite good. Telephone number.
What were their first impressions?
Well, I think that they've really honed in on the key objectives. That's my initial gut feeling, though I couldn't really say for sure, but it feels like they've really sort of honed in on the key objectives and that they've tailored the whole package around those key objectives, simplified it and actually refined it. But yeah, the maths is the same.
Yeah, but with a real strong sort of theme of using and applying.
Yeah.
Which obviously...
Which I think was there
we were doing that, and I think lots of schools are actually doing that.
I think with this emphasis on using and applying, for some practitioners and some schools, they will feel like it's a bigger change, because if using and applying isn't embedded within your maths teaching practice, then it's going to feel like a big change, because it's so vital that children make connections to make progress in maths, and that's being acknowledged in this framework. So everyone's really got to jump on board with that, and then I think we'll see children making more progress, especially the children who are stuck somewhere in the middle and don't progress quickly enough and find maths a real bind. So I think it's fresh and new in that way in its message.
What's coming up in this a lot is the things that we've always developed a sense, I think, really matter: making connections. If we know this, what else do we know? Knowing things inside out and round and about, not just tables, but knowing what doors that unlocks, seeing the patterns that it generates. That seems to be coming through, and the kind of narrative guidance is good on that.
Yeah, good prompts for questions.
Yeah.
I think, the changes for our school will be, like with any new format, it's just going to take some time.